Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7. Live on hot7025fm.com.
All right, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome back. How y'all doing? How y'all living? I've been living good. I've been having a real, actually, you know what? Let's talk about the ups. Forget the downs. You know, downs happen all the time. I had a pretty good week. Definitely was kind of fun, kind of exciting. My little staycation last week, I told y'all a little bit about it, but for the most part, it was great. I had so much fun. I enjoyed myself. I took time to myself to just kind of relax, you know, have some me time, as we all need so much and so well. Other than that, it's been a pretty good week with work. It was actually, work is work. Nothing too bad, nothing too good, nothing to talk about. However, though, we get canes this weekend from the party that we had a week or two ago. Our store, our venue won out of both locations. Yeah, I knew we was going to win. I was on the team. All I do is win, like I'm allergic to losing. You know, but also, as y'all know, for this week, I do have a guest coming onto the show. So pretty soon we'll get to introduce our guest here, get that taken care of. For the rest of the week, honestly, it was nothing too bad. Me and my son get to go see Spider-Man tomorrow, so I'm pretty excited about that. We got the early showing tickets, costumes washed and ready to go. You know, as far as snacks and candy, I don't know how we're going to sneak stuff in because the costume's kind of tight. You know what I mean? If you ask me. But for the most part, it ain't nothing to it. So what I will do is, again, we do have a guest today on the show. Definitely want to give a shout out to RENEE for coming through. So I'm going to add her to the stream now for y'all, you know, live and in action so everybody can see. Say hello if you like. Introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm RENEE.
How was your week, RENEE? How's everything been going for you? How's life right now?
My week has been very, very busy. I feel like I've been doing a lot of shopping, trying to do family time, going to Gymboree.
Okay.
Trying to fit everybody in one.
Okay, one more time here. Sorry about that. I think they couldn't hear you. You want to say it one more time for me?
Yeah, my week has been
There we
very
go.
busy. I've been doing a lot of family time, shopping, going to Gymboree, trying to find little events my little one can do since she's only one. So
I understand. It's definitely one of those give or take kind of things. You know, you got the younger kids that can't really do everything the bigger kids can.
Yeah.
You know, they gotta take their time and be patient. Trust me.
I can't wait
Man.
till she sit through a movie.
That's about 3 or 4. You know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. My 2-year-old, my 4-year-old, she's okay at it now, but my 2-year-old, we tried to watch a Little Mermaid the other day, and they didn't like the theater, so we had to leave the theater. You know what I mean? They made me, waste money like girls do. But we went home, and I tried to play it for them at home on the TV, and same reaction. They just, they wasn't fucking with it like that, which I thought they would really like. I thought they would really want to see that movie. But as soon as they seen the Spider-Man commercial, they got excited. So I guess, they're little tomboys in a way.
But gotta have nonstop songs. So Miss Rachel, all of that, Miss Moni, people singing and stuff like. I get tired of that.
Yeah, my 2-year-old is she's the one that loves me. She got the music for me. She loves music, so she'll be trying to sing stuff even though she don't know the words. She try to sing, she try to dance to it when the music come on. But she's the one that got that little trait for me. I love it because I love music. So when I see her doing all her little thing, it'd be pretty cool. So lately I've been doing something to get her off of Coco Melon because I really hate Coco Melon.
They got
Right.
Toonies.
Well, I like Gracie's Corner.
Gracie's Corner is cool too.
I like Gracie's
For
Corner.
the longest, my daughter wouldn't get into it because she's just stiff and moving
Yeah.
her arms and
Yeah.
stuff. But Toonies is kind of like Coco Melon, but with R&B songs.
Oh.
And then it centers around a black kid with curly hair.
And that's why I like Gracie's Corner because, I try to have them relate to something. Coco
Yeah.
Melon, you only see one color on there for the most part. No
Yep.
disrespect to Coco Melon at all, but, we got.
Representation matters.
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly. Representation matters. And that's why, I try to take my daughters to see, Little Mermaid, finally see a black princess in the movie. My
I've
son
been
is
doing
hooked
like
on the
that
Spider-Man.
sometimes,
He
so.
loves Miles, I love that. So,
Is the new Spider-Man that just came out featuring Miles?
Comes out tomorrow.
Comes out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that featuring Miles?
That's
or?
It's the animated film. So it's the Enter the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
The first one was Into the Spider-Verse, INTO, and then this one is Enter the Spider-Verse. But they got a part 2 to this one coming out next year too. So,
Okay.
yeah.
I've never seen any commercials for it, so I don't.
Yeah,
I have no clue what's
I'm not
going
gonna
on.
lie. I seem like this time around they did more advertising on social media before doing any commercials. And the only commercials that you probably seen with advertisement was Burger King because they got that Spider-Verse meal.
See, I didn't even see that either.
Oh yeah, man, I took my son right away.
You know,
I'm like,
I
hey, I
got
surprised
cable.
him.
So-
Oh yeah, hey, we don't believe in cable. We get a little Fire Stick, Roku.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't like cable either. So I mean, but everything else pretty much is cool because, I don't need cable to know new things coming out. Like I know what my kids. So one thing is like with the kids, I try to learn their likes and dislikes. So with the Spider-Man thing, I've known Spider-Man was coming out for a while. So when tickets went on pre-sale, the first thing I did was I grabbed a few, right?
Dad of the year.
Yeah, I really thought, and I don't know why I'm just so distraught by my daughter's not liking The Little Mermaid. You know, it's just I don't know why it's eating me up. You know,
Because it's like, you know, when you like something and you show them a show you used to watch, like, I show my daughter Rugrats. I know she does. But
okay.
just the fact that she ain't paying attention, this some good stuff right here. You need to be
Yeah,
watching.
I showed my 2-year-old the Rugrats because she's the one she's the no limit soldier out the group. She don't care. She don't give a fuck. She feel like as long as Daddy ain't tripping, I can do whatever I want because Daddy gonna back me up. You know what I mean? So it is definitely pretty cool. But I be telling them like I am not gonna be there all the time to save you because when you get older and y'all start fighting each other, it's fair game. You know what I mean? Y'all all kids. Y'all know what to do. Like y'all family at that. Y'all gonna fight.
I've
Y'all
been trying
siblings.
to teach my daughter to not fight because yesterday she was with her little cousin. He's 4.
Okay.
They close in height. I ain't even gonna lie. Maybe he's short or she just tall. But
Hopefully she just
she
tall.
was beating him up, and I'm like, stop, no hitting. You know,
Yep.
don't hit your family. Let's play gently.
Yep.
She don't. Yeah. She
I-
don't understand that.
I had to coerce. I don't want to say coerce. It sounds like a bad word.
Yeah, that's.
I had to teach my son how to tell the difference between playing with girls versus playing with boys. Y'all can do the same things, but you can't be so rough with the women. You know what I mean? You have to be gentle, take care. You can't be too rough. Now, my 4-year-old, she don't care about me trying to tell him not to be rough. She just be like, I want to play. So they be going at it. But the 2-year-old, she be like, if he do something, she get real angry. She'll try to hit him, and then she'll come to me, tap my knee, and then she'll point to him. That's how I know something happened.
He's too rough.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
You know what's crazy is that's how I am. That's how I was growing up, even though I have 3 older brothers. I was one of those like, you know, you got to be gentle with me. But with my daughter, she wants to jump off the bed, do flips, and play
Oh, she wanna be wild.
toys and stuff. And I'm like, dang, I ain't
Yeah.
give you no brothers.
You gotta let them. You gotta let them be rough. You gotta let them be rough, cause they gon' whether or not you try to stop it from happening, it happens.
It
happens.
I don't even think I can stop it because she's one of those kids where it's like she'll throw stuff, knock things down, and you can't really pop her because then she gonna shrug her hands and be like, okay, so.
Oh, yeah, you got a no limit soldier too. Yeah, I know how that is. Trust me, my daughter feel like as long as I don't say nothing, she in the right. So it don't matter who tell her she doing something wrong. If she look at Daddy and I don't say nothing to her, she call it what it is. But I mean, she only 2 right now, so.
Yeah.
It's not that big of a deal, but once she hit that good 3, like, you know, you going to have learned consequences. You know what I mean? You can't be like that to everybody. You can't just walk around doing what you want to do with your nose turned up. You got to be nice and share just like all the other kids share. You know, like right now she'll share, but the minute somebody moves more than 2 feet away from her with something they sharing, she get the tripping. Like she'll get to go taking it and moving it away from her. And she got this bad. I'm not mad about it, right? I love it, this part. She is territorial to the core over her daddy. Like my 4-year-old, once she hit the age of 2, she went to transition over from a daddy's girl to a mommy's girl. My 2-year-old though, that one, you can pay her to be a mama's girl. She all about daddy. You don't care what it is. Look, I dropped her off.
My baby don't do that.
Oh my goodness! Look, I dropped her off yesterday, and I went back to grab my son, and they told her she couldn't go. And boy, she just put her head down and walked away, and I felt so bad. My heart hurt so much. I was like, I'm sorry, baby. you know they
It feels
they got
good
plans.
when your kids only want you.
Yes,
I feel
it
like,
feels great.
You know,
I'm not
when
gonna
you
lie.
don't have no kids and you see them and you trying to play with another little kid. He's like, I want to go with my parents. And
Facts.
you're like, dang, I
Facts.
can't wait to have my own kid. And
Now,
then you get to experience it. You
I
like,
swear,
yeah.
you was like, this is everything I hope for. I swear. And with her, it's so great because she'll see. Let's say if her sister walked up and gave me a hug and a kiss, she gonna come do the same thing. Come give me a hug and a kiss. We was laying down the other night after trying to get them to watch The Little Mermaid. She was my oldest was laying on me, and she came and got in between us, and dug in between us to move her over. I was like, I'm her dad too. Like you have to share me with your sister.
My 1-year-old do that with my mama though, and I just be like, I want to lay with my mama sometimes, but she don't want my mama
to lay with you.
Yeah. Nowhere near me. She'll get in between and push my
territorial.
Mama.
I used to say jealousy, but it's not jealousy when you they parent. You know, it's territorial. So I get it. I mean, I love it. You know, because it's always tailored to benefit me.
And you
so,
got multiple, though.
Yes.
See, I only
yeah.
got one, so I don't have to deal with, like, oh, well, let your brother fit. No, it's just like, oh, yeah. You see, because I made my own people, so.
I mean, it's time for you to make another one. That's what that's saying. It's time for one more. One thing I said is I would never have done that and just had one kid. Like, I feel like that's, don't get me wrong, like, some kids like growing up being the only sibling or the only kid, but.
I didn't have that experience
I loved having siblings, you know what I mean? Like when I wanted to play, I had brothers to go to. Like I didn't have to worry about finding friends outside or none of that. And it just helped me better off in life, you know, I feel like it did. And I don't want my kid to grow up being like, well, why didn't you give me a sibling? Like don't ask me that question 10 years later because it's like, I don't know if I could want to do it now.
I feel like my mom tells me all the time to give her a sibling because she's like, when you die, who's going to help them? Like who's going to help them bury you? Who's going to help?
Who's going to console them? Who's going to help them mourn? Who's going to be there with them?
Yeah. She says that all the time because, you know, she had 4 of us. So then I'd be like, yeah, I want another kid, but pregnancy was kind of rough. I'm kind of scared because the more and more I go out and dating, I realize, like, a lot of guys that I meet, they just want to be baby daddies. So
you know, this is a perfect segue into our conversation today. We're talking about relationships. Go ahead and continue, ma'am.
So a lot of guys that I meet, it's kind of different. I love black men, and I've been getting cursed out.
We appreciate you too. We appreciate you too.
But for some reason, when I go on dates, I like to talk about the future and stuff. Try to
be prepared, right?
Yeah.
Talk about it. Know where we going. Communicate. I get it.
So I notice a lot of them, the ones that don't have kids, they really want kids, but they want kids before marriage, and they want kids before establishing a foundation with the woman first.
Before establish stability, without really getting to know that woman. Like it's so much to it.
And that's so scary.
Yes.
Because I was with my baby daddy, and I mean, I felt like we did move fast or whatever. We did really move fast. We went to had our little engagement thing going on, and then I ended up pregnant, but he begged me for the child. I really wanted the Houston trip, but I chose to keep the child. So, and then going through the experience of like him working all the time and going through my first pregnancy alone, that kind of scared me, like scarred me to the point where I'm like, do I really want another kid, or is my PTSD and trauma from the first pregnancy
gonna affect it?
Yeah. So it just, she need a sibling, but do I need more mental trauma?
what I will say to you is for sure is I respect the fact that you want an actual game plan, right? You don't want to just talk about it. You want to make a game plan. You want things to happen in a certain way, and you want it to be done. You're not saying it to be done on your time, but you want that to happen, right? So the one thing you pointed out that I love is the fact that why are you trying to get me pregnant before you're trying to make me a wife, right? Because it makes you feel like, well, damn, all you see me as a baby mama, right? Or just somebody to bury your kids.
Or when they be like, oh, dang, you a good mom.
Yeah.
You'll be a good mom for my kid. What? No, that's not. What about the wife part? Okay.
Exactly. What about the part that's going to be there for the stability? What is about the part that's going to be there for the long term? And I like that you bring that up because, like, ever since I was a kid, my biggest dream and goal in life was to be a dad. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't care if I worked a 9 to 5 for the rest of my life. I wanted to be a dad with the white picket fence with the family. That's what I want. That's all I cared for, right? It's a very simple request. And, you know, like I tried. You know what I mean? Like I tried. It didn't work out. Granted, it didn't work out. I understand that. But it really I hate the fact that it put a damper on marriage for me. It made me feel like never do this shit again.
Yeah.
And I know one day I'll get out of that mindset and I'll let it go and I won't have that thought process, but it makes me feel like I don't care to go that far anymore. I just don't feel like.
But you can't give up.
I'm not giving up. I don't want to say I'm giving up. I just feel like, basically, I was just telling E earlier, everything you take for granted eventually gets taken away, right? And I just never saw that appreciation from anyone. Like, I never saw the support or reassurance that made me feel like, oh, it would be great for us to be in a marriage. Like, I've never gotten it anywhere. And clearly trying to force one ain't gonna work. I mean, you see what happened. It's not gonna work, right? So I can't, how do I say this? I don't want to say like I'm completely disgusted by it or I completely want to stay away from it. It just made me feel like next time I'll take my time before I do anything. And it sucks because just like you say with men, like I'm like that with women. Like if it's not about sex or because I say I don't want to have sex right away, it's a problem. You know what I mean? But I'm not saying that because I feel like, you know, I don't want to have sex or I'm not attracted to you. I'm saying that because I know sex brings emotions. Sex brings problems. I want to get to know you. I want to learn you. I want to exactly. I want to actually get to understand you as a person before we bring sex into it because sex can kind of manipulate the situation.
You know what's crazy is I was talking about this to a guy because I'm openly dating right now. And I don't know if it's because he was rich or what, but he was offended that the fact that I was telling him, like, I want to be best friends first. Like, I want to build a friendship and then blossom into the relationship.
Do they copy you? They make duplicates? You need to teach a class to these other women. I swear. Like,
I really want to be able to laugh with you, cry with you, all types of stuff. Have all that funness in the in our friendship first before we become a relationship.
Yeah, man.
And then he was like, well, dang, are you going to make me wait? And I was like, I mean, let's go off the vibe, but let's get tested together first. And he cursed me out.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that. I hate, okay, so, you know, I do OnlyFans and shit, but I've never collabed with anybody, okay?
Yeah, a lot of guys don't collab.
I have collabed, when I first started, there was a girl that I was doing, we was just head videos, so she was giving me head all the time. But, like, recently I gave up on collabing because every time I mention, and even in general with just trying to date somebody or talk to somebody, anytime I mention going to get tested, it's like World War III. And I'm like, well, you ain't got nothing to hide. What you worried about?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'll go online right now, pull up all my results. I ain't got to worry about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, I can go back. I can go with you to get tested. You can go to your doctor. I go back to the health district, or you say, I can't see my doctor right now, but the health district see me today. You know what I mean? So I hate the fact that having the word saying, I want to get tested with you, they take it as they get offended.
Yeah, they do get offended.
And I don't understand that. Don't get offended because if you got nothing to hide, you be like, okay, cool. Well, I'm glad you respect me enough to want to get tested with me before we do anything.
I thought it was okay. That was my first, well, no, I'd say my second. That was my second time running into someone who was like, took so much offense. He was like, oh, that's corny. And he went on a 30-minute rant about how if I'm not his girl, he can just wear a condom. And I said, condoms break.
First of all, not even that. They got shit to eat through condoms these days.
Yep.
I don't want to play that game. I don't want to play that game. Yeah, I'm good.
But it was just like, he was just really like going on about, oh, well, don't hold me accountable for things people been through. Because I know people with HIV. And I was just telling him, like, no, you're supposed to learn through experiences, learn through what other advice people give you.
Oh, my goodness.
And he was like, well, I'm not them. And then I'm just like, He said,
but that's sketchy.
You sound disgusted.
Yeah.
You sound disgusted by me on the phone.
Oh, my God,
Because I was, but I wasn't going to tell him that.
Because you weren't trying to make it a problem. You weren't trying to make it a problem at all. And I respect it because I swear I've ran into so many women that just make it seem like, oh, well, what's the point of going to get tested if we finna use protection? Because they got shit to eat through condom. I don't care about using protection or not. I still want to make sure I'm safe with you because I love intimacy. So if we finna be laying down in the bed, I want to kiss. I want to foreplay. I want to do all of that. I'm not trying to just sit here and I'm not 20 no more or 21. I'm not out here just trying to get a
reckless.
nut. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm not doing all of that. I'm not reckless no more. I'm at the point where I need mental stability. I need a mental connection before I can even lay in bed with you. I need to know we can conversate, we can vibe. Like you said, let's actually see where the vibe goes. You worried about something that you shouldn't worry about right now. More worry about me as a person than what I can give you in bed. You know what I mean? And It's so hard to come by people like that these days, man. It's so
No,
hard,
it
man. I
is.
swear.
It's so sad because I met someone that was like perfect. It seemed like I met him on one of them dating apps, and everything was cool or whatever. His pictures, he actually looked nice.
Okay.
Or whatever. So, well, he looked doable to me. To my friends, thought he was kind of cute, and I was just like, he cool enough for me or whatever.
Okay.
So I was on the phone with him. I was asking him. I was like, your neck is kind of short. So are you short? And he was like, yeah, I'm like 5'5", 5'6". And I was like, okay. And then we went on a date, and he was a midget, and it was just like he had no teeth too. So it just. You gotta be careful out there too.
Date within your means, people. Date within your means. You know, you say that too, and I actually just damn, what is that app? The Facebook dating app. I just opened that up again recently, and I don't know, man. It's just like I don't get. I feel like it was pointless. You know what I mean? Because part of me right now is like, part of me is closed off. I can definitely admit that part of me is closed off. But I do that because I fall in love in 3 to 5 business days.
Oh,
like, no lie.
Well,
right?
I was gay for 10 years, so we fall in love so fast. And then that carried on to my straight life. So, yeah. I met my baby daddy the first week. Boom, we was in a relationship.
See? So, but like, I'm not ashamed of the fact that I fall in love so easily. Like, I take that as an actual, like, a appreciation of myself. Like, I'm glad I can do something like that. So part of me is closed off because it's like, I need to know you're not full of shit before I put my feelings into this. Yeah. Because I take my feelings very seriously. You know what I mean?
And a lot of people lie.
They lie. They manipulate the situation. They can't. And I say this all the time.
Like we too grown to lie.
Way too grown. And you'll never know what I'll agree to if you don't tell me. Right? So I just say that because you never know what situations that I may be okay with if you don't be honest about it.
You know what I realized? That just telling guys when you're openly dating, like, hey, I am dating other people, or I'm openly dating, so I don't want you to think we're exclusive.
They get offended?
Do not care. No, they don't.
They
care.
shouldn't. They shouldn't.
They don't.
Because
care.
you know what we see it as? Competition. And you know what that means? I got to show you I'm better than all them other motherfuckers.
And which turns you into a spoiled brat. So.
You know what I mean?
No.
That's it.
I totally agree.
It's so easy, and a lot of people won't even take the time to do that.
Guys should do that though more.
That's what I was getting to. I don't know how to date multiple people. I can be honest with you. Because I get too invested into one person, it's hard for me to date multiple people. And I'm working on it, and I'm trying, but I don't know how. So I can be honest.
You know what? I'm not the best at it, but what I do is I have moments where I like others more, and I'll just disappear from the rest of the group. Which is, it's okay. I tell guys before, like, hey, I'm a bad texter. You got to call me. But really, I just like somebody else more. And then
okay. So you manipulating the situation. That's fucked up. See, I'm a little too blunt. Okay. So whenever there's an issue, whenever it's something I don't like, I'm going to speak up on it right then if the environment causes it to. Yeah. So if we out at a party, I'll wait till we get, on the way home, or when we get to the house, or when I drop you off, we can have that conversation. But I'm not going to sit there in the middle of the party and say, hey, you got me fucked up. No, I'm not going to do all of that, because that's not even addressing it correctly. Yeah. You know what I mean? But
I wish I was like that, though, because I handle so many things with grace. A lot of times my friends tell me I let too much stuff slide.
Yeah, but I used to be like that. You'll learn,
to pop off?
Life be lifing, you know what I mean? Life be lifing. Because I stopped trying to please everybody else because it wasn't benefiting me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm very blunt and open. So when I talk to somebody or I date somebody, I point out when there's issues that I have, which is one of the things I want to talk about is actually how a lot of women claim that they want an emotionally intelligent guy, right? But the issue is that a lot of women have never dealt with an emotionally intelligent guy. So when I come around and I'm sitting down and I'm saying, hey, this bothered me. It bothered me because of this. It made me feel this way. And is there a way that we can get this to change? It's news to them. It's different. They don't expect it. And they go straight into defense mode. Straight into defense mode.
I'm dealing with that.
It's like, I get to the point where I'm like, well, I don't want to yell and argue at you. I don't want to, hit you. Definitely don't want to hit you. Like, I want to be able to conversate and communicate in a healthy way.
So what approach do you take when you see them getting defensive? Because I always go back to, hey, I'm not yelling at you. I'm not cursing you out. I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you so we can move forward.
Oh, no, I say, what was it about what I said or how I said it that made you feel defensive?
They wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So that's why I try to reinforce that, hey, it's in your head, but without saying it's in your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I deal with that. I mean, co-parenting is hard when you deal with someone who never had communication. And it took another man to show me how to communicate my emotions effectively. So
preach.
Thanks to him, I'm able, when I do deal with emotionally immature men, I try to show them like, hey, a lot of stuff is in your head. That's why you're getting defensive.
Exactly.
So right now with the co-parenting and stuff, sometimes my baby daddy says, well, now he's at the point where he realizes like, hey, I'm getting upset because of something I felt you say, but you didn't really
actually say
it. Yeah.
Yes.
And now he tells me, he acknowledges that, and he tells me like, well, sometimes it just feels like you're attacking me, even though you're not attacking me. And I was like, yeah, we'll take a breather and we'll assess it, and then we'll start again. And that's how we've been getting through to some stuff. Some stuff he just be like, I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to talk about it right now because you always want to talk.
Another good piece to it is whenever you see things getting heated up, this is what I always do. Like, especially when they do that, I never just say it. Always, I grab their hands. Physical touch can calm you down. You know what I mean? So I do that so they know, like, I'm not coming from a place of hurt or a place of anger.
I feel like he'll be like, what you trying to do?
No, you can touch his arm, anything. Just any kind of touch. It just reminds him, that y'all are human.
Reassurance.
That's it. It's so easy and simple to do. And I do that a lot because you can tell by their body language, you can tell when people are uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I'm here to make you comfortable. Like, here, come here, let's like, I'm not upset, I'm not angry, let's talk.
That's so funny because the guy who taught me to effectively communicate when I'm hurt or upset, he used to do this thing when because I used to get really bad panic attacks. And he used to do this thing where if I'm like, can feel myself getting overwhelmed or something, he used to be like, okay, let's stop, come here, let's boogie.
Yeah,
and we used to just slow dance. So
I swear.
It helped.
And that little piece right there was probably so important for you learning how to deal with it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It helped a lot.
So, and that's why I tell people, like, you don't never want to go into a conversation thinking it's going to end bad. Because when you do that, you actually make it end bad because you're manifesting that it's going to end the worst way. You always want to go into the conversation like everything else in life. Prepare for the worst, but expect the best. So go in there expecting everything is going to work out fine. But if it doesn't, you already know that could have possibly, been a resolution to it.
It's like Alexis. Alexis has taught me that because she says that sometimes she feels like I'll get defensive when she communicate to me. Sometimes I do, but Alexis is hard to communicate with sometimes for me too, or whatever. But we are navigating through our friendship to communicate effectively with each other.
What's up.
And she always goes, hey, is this a safe place right now? Because I need a safe place
I love
to talk
that.
to you.
I love that.
And I'm like, okay, yeah.
I love that.
And then she'll tell me and we'll resolve it there. For me, I'm not the type to be like, is this a safe place? I'm the type to be like, say Alexis snaps at me. And I'll be like, oh, okay. Well, all right, whatever, I'll talk to you later. Bye.
You'll dismiss it for the moment.
And then I'll run it in my head over and over all throughout the day.
Overthinking.
Am I tripping? Am I tripping? Maybe I'm tripping. And then I'll seek counsel and be like, am I tripping? Because I didn't say nothing when they snapped on me. And then I have a Scorpio as a friend and a Gemini as a friend. And, them signs. Oh, well, you should have said this.
Hey.
You too nice.
Hey.
So,
listen.
And I just be like, okay, I understand it. And then it'll fester, and I'll be like, you know what? It's too late to talk about it now because
it's never too late because the conversation still needs to happen.
The conversation do still need to happen, but then it'll fester up, and then I'll snap back, and then I'll feel bad because I'm just so emotional. I'll feel bad, and then I'll call her back and be like, I'm so sorry that I snapped on you, but it's because of this, and I feel like this and this and that. But now she's mad because I snapped on her from something in the past.
Yes.
And then it ends up a whole
being bigger
issue.
than what it is.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I get it.
But then we always work through it. I could say that with her, being friends with her for the last, 12 years, we've always worked through all of our issues.
That's what's up. Glad to see. Y'all hear that, women? Y'all have good friends that y'all can work through issues with. You know what I mean? You ain't got to snake your friends.
To find good friends, though.
Because it was all about, I mean, everybody complains and say communication is the problem, but it's not. Everybody can communicate because you can talk to anybody. That's communicating.
Yeah.
Comprehension is the issue that we have. Nobody can understand where you're trying to come from something. People always feel like you're trying to attack them when you just try to express yourself, you know.
That's
but
true.
again, it's always about how you say it, not what you say, you know. So I'll definitely give that to it too.
A lot of people don't like to hear criticism.
Constructive criticism.
Yep, constructive criticism, any type of criticism, to be honest, because sometimes it can hurt the ego.
Oh man,
So-
ego is a hell of a thing. Hell of a drug, man. Hell of a drug.
So just to get your ego hurt, especially by a friend too, sometimes that, and especially if you're dealing with someone who don't like to deal with their emotions, so now they hurt, and then they, instead of expressing it in sadness,
They go quiet.
express it in either quietness or anger. And
Oh,
it's
I don't like the anger ones.
Oh yeah, it's like, yeah.
Because the anger one, the ones that do it in anger, I feel like they got something else deep down buried that they ain't trying to talk about, you know? And it's nothing that you could have done, you know what I mean, that would have ever did it. That's why I always tell people, like, when it comes, I've been through so much therapy and anger management to just try to better myself, right? Anger management, one of the first things they teach you is that anger is never your first emotion. Never, ever your first emotion. It's always either fear of the future, hurt from the past, or frustration of the present. So fear of the future is like, let's say, a relationship. Like you feel like it's going to fail, or you feel like it's going to, well, it's probably a bad example to use for anger. Fear of the future is, let's say, somebody's attacking you, and you feel like your life is in danger. At that point, you might step up, and you might kill them just to save yourself, you know, fear of you dying, right?
Fight or flight.
There you go. Frustration of the present is, you know, I'm over there, I'm like, Renee, you got your daughter, Renee, you got everybody else calling your name, 5 different people. You like, what the fuck do y'all want? Frustration of the present. And then, what was it, from the past? If I pinched you right now, I could be the lightest pinch.
From trauma.
But you would, exactly. Somebody back in the day pinched you hard as fuck, and it reminded you of how that felt, and that's what you got upset for.
Yeah.
So I try to, whenever I'm communicating, I always, if I feel myself getting a little flustered, overwhelmed, or angry, I stop to think, is this really their fault? Is this something that's going on with them? Should I communicate something else? You know, like, for example.
That's why I assess things and I carry it on throughout the week.
So, but me, I love the fact that my brain overthinks because it kind of like runs as a computer. It runs pretty fast. So it's easy for me to kind of like, all right, let's situate this now. So whenever I'm running into an issue with somebody, if I see it got heated or if I see it got into an argument, I'll be like, hold on. Let's take a break for a second because I think we are misunderstanding each other, miscommunication right now. So let's take it from the top. You know, let's find out what the problem really is, because I'm not upset at you. I don't want you to be upset at me. I don't want you to take this any other way than me wanting to help you grow or show love, support. So I've learned that, but because I've been through a bunch of counseling and therapy and anger management, I've taught myself these ways to try to communicate better, you know.
Yeah, see, my ex used to say anger is a secondary emotion.
It is.
And then I carried on saying that to other people throughout my life. But a lot of times you don't want to, well, with me, when a conversation is getting heated, I don't want to hurt the person that's in front of me.
There you go.
So, because that can end really, really bad. And I never want to get to the point, because I used to be very, very angry. And I didn't understand why. And I was mean and I fought constantly, men, women. Like, it was it was just reckless. So now that I'm at a point where I really enjoy my peace, I never want to interrupt that.
So I think I learned this maybe 2020, actually. I called that my toxic year, or my whole year, whatever people called it. But I called it my toxic year.
Was that COVID year?
Yeah, it was COVID year.
Man, how?
And I ain't gonna lie, that was probably one of the most funnest years I've ever had, but it was exhausting. It was tiring. I never want to go through that again.
Wait, why?
It was just like, I had so much fun, but I'm keeping up from person to person. You know what I mean? I'm sleeping with this person, sleeping with that person. You know what I mean? And it was just like,
protection, right?
Oh yeah, hell yeah!
Okay.
Like, come on, man. Look, I stayed at Walmart getting that 32-pack. Well, I wasn't playing. No. That's what. Like, one thing. Listen. Anybody that ever talk, my kids' mommies always talk shit about that year, and I say, well, regardless of what went on when that year ended, when everything came to, that's when I called it Death Row. I don't know if anybody really remember that. I had the company, I had the website and everything, Death Row. I said all contracts expired December 31st, 2020. Nobody believed me. So when January 1st came, I was over it. I was done. 2021 in March is when I got married. So apparently I was serious, and I said I'm like I just needed to get that out of my system. But it was just
wait. The math ain't mathing for me. Hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
How did you have a whole year and then you said March?
Yep. 3 months later.
3 months later decided to get married?
3 months later, me and my kid's mom reconnected. Okay. And here's my thought on it. I said, well, if you want to do this again, because we were engaged twice before, but the engagements always fell through, right? So I felt like if you want to really do this, I want to get married. I want to know that you're here to stay. I want to know that you're going to be around.
Bro,
Clearly that was dumb of me, but you know what I mean? I was like, if we're going to do this, let's be serious. Let's not play around no more. Let's actually take it the full 9 yards, right? And
why the jump? Because I notice a lot of men do that. Because, I mean, I've been proposed to 4 times, and every time I've been proposed to, it's been after a breakup. And it's like, okay.
Oh, no, I wasn't in no relationship 2020. I told everybody, no relationships.
Yeah,
I'm just fucking.
You went out and you did your thing or whatever, and then when y'all reconnected, it had to be something so concrete.
Yeah, because, so, my situation may be different on how it is. So, honestly, though, when I met that girl in 2009, and the first time I seen her, first time I laid eyes on her, I kid you not, I said it was love at first sight. I fell in love instantly, and I've always wanted to be with her. I will never take that back. I will always admit it. So throughout these years, I've always seen her as my wife. I've always seen her as the woman I will end my life with. You know what I mean? And
I'm sorry it didn't work out. My condolences.
Yeah, you know, I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's sad.
So throughout the years, like whenever something happened, like mind you, we never really broke up until like, or over cheating until the marriage, right? We never broke up about that. It was always just attitude, you know, like small things that can be changed.
So infidelity did happen during the relationship?
During the marriage.
During the marriage only? Okay.
Yeah. So from going to high school sweethearts, you know, at the point we had 2 kids at this point. No, we had 3 kids actually, because my baby was born in 2020. She'll be 3 this year. Yeah. So going from that, I was like, well, we got all of these kids. I know I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You know, I have no doubt about that. So what are we waiting for? What is we playing around for? If you claim that you love me the way you do, what's the problem, right? Let's go ahead and get it out the way. But that just wasn't the case. You know, that wasn't the case.
Was she having fun in 2020?
No.
No?
Like, I mean.
So how did she meet Mr. Man?
I have no idea.
Oh, you didn't ask for details?
I didn't need details.
Break up, I need all the details so I can relive it in my head and realize, because I mess around and come back if I don't know the details.
I did mess around and go back, and it was just the same bullshit pretty much. Yeah. It's just not worth it, right? But what happened was, it's so funny. She had broke her phone, so I went and got her a new one, but it didn't come in. We went and got her a new one. Sorry, let me use we statements here. But it didn't come in for a few days. So in the meantime, I gave her one of my old iPhone. It was like an iPhone 8 to use. And when I gave her the phone, well, previously in September, they were having conversations because I don't know why, I don't know where it was, but I guess it was like she said, basically Facebook. You know what I mean? I'm like, what is Facebook causing an issue for? I'm not wilding out like I used to on Facebook. Like I just didn't get it, but it was a tit for tat thing. And I'm like, what's the tit? What did I do for you to tat? Because I'm confused. So
your Facebook is kind of wild.
Well, now it is, yeah. Now it is, for sure. But at the time, I've always respected her, like, to make sure I wouldn't do anything that would make her feel a type of way.
Yeah, I've already been doing that.
And then it's like I told her, like, respect is a big thing to me. That's the biggest thing I'm going to have is respect. So if I feel like you don't, and I say it like this, love to women is respect to men. So the way y'all feel like love is for y'all, we need that respect to feel loved. And if we don't have that, it's like, what are we doing? Okay. Yeah. So part of it was I didn't get the respect I wanted. No matter how much I've expressed how I felt about it, what was going on. And then around that time, like, I really was just like, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing where you can tell me all of these great things you did for your exes, but you won't give me a quarter of what you gave to them? And then when I ask you why you did that for them but not me, you say, well, you were dumb then. Well, I feel like you need to be retarded for me because I'm going bending over backwards to make you happy, and you won't even give me an ounce of the respect you gave them.
Well, I feel like I don't need to hear this because I'm going through something similar. And it's just going to make me fester.
Oh, my God, man.
Anger.
I'm not even angry about it no more. You know, I'm at peace with everything now. But I don't know what it was that pretty much where she felt like she just needed to get attention from another man. Yeah. So they had conversations, and you married, you supposed to work through things. So that one I kind of let go because I'm like, whatever. So about 30 days later is when, she broke her phone, and I had the little iPhone 8. I was working at home, right? COVID time, so of course I'm working at home. Or not COVID, the year after COVID, sorry. But still, it was still COVID.
Yeah.
So I'm working at home, and I told her before she gave me that phone back, you need to just erase it. But she never did, obviously. Now, me and her texting about the situation that happened a month before, and she like, they ain't talking no more, this and that, or they done. But I get a notification on that phone. It just goes off right in front of me while I'm at work. And it's messages of them going back and forth talking again. So I was like, you just a fucking liar. You know what I mean? So I didn't want details because I don't want to beat myself up more than what I already am.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep making myself feel worthless when I felt like I was doing everything I should be doing. Like, I'm not saying she's a bad woman.
You know what? That's good, though. As long as you feel like you did the best you could in a relationship, it should be easier
to walk away. When I tell you I tried everything but cheating, that's the only, and I'm not finna break my character to prove that I love you. It's not finna happen.
Yeah.
So everything that's going on, I've done everything. I've tried it all. I've tried the only thing I
did cheat?
No. No, because it feel like it would be temporary satisfaction.
My baby daddy.
No, because I feel like even if I did, I would have just stooped to her level.
Yeah.
It would have been like tit for tat. I don't want to do tit for tat. I want to have a successful relationship.
I'm gonna be honest.
I think I would have been more hurt and damaged over damaging my character just to prove a point or just to get revenge.
For me, like, a lot of times when I don't do something back, I regret it. And I just be like, dang, you a punk. And I don't like feeling I've felt like that, but then I also realized that, no, you were the bigger person because instead of you going out to get back that revenge, to do what they did to you, you walked away from it. You left it alone. Because even though you may feel the type of way, it killed them. They over there don't know what to do because you done walked away. I don't think people care that much.
I'm telling you.
And the reason why I say that is because I've met people that don't care that much, or I met people that felt like I cared that much, and I'm literally like, wah. So I feel like in our heads we want people to care for us more than what they actually do.
That is correct.
Which is why I truly feel like if you don't do anything to just satisfy what you feel inside, then you'll just tell yourself like, oh yeah, it's gonna hurt them. But a lot of times people don't care enough to get hurt. They literally still move on with life like, oh, okay, like whatever.
And I swear to you, it's like, I agree. Now that you say it like that, because I really feel like, I know this is gonna sound wild and crazy, but I really feel like I was the only one that went through any hurt or pain in that situation. 15 years of nothing but hurt and pain.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm the only one that went through it. And I feel like I allowed myself to go through it, so I blame myself for that because you allowed, like, you do better and you still did it, right? And again, like, I'm not saying she's a bad woman. She's a great mother. Definitely have nothing to say about her being a mother. We just didn't work out mano y mano. I'm just not the type of guy for her, right? Yeah. I'm just not the kind of man that she really wants. And that's okay. It's perfectly fine. It hurt me. It hurt like hell at first to really accept that. I will not lie. And it still hurts a little bit to accept it, because my heart, again, has always just wanted her. So at the end of the day, when I'm telling my heart, like, sorry, you can't get what you want this time, it hurts. Yeah. You know what I mean? It hurts. And
what sucks is when you know better, but you
still do it.
Yep.
So all my life, I love the Usher Let It Burn song because he say, it's going to hurt for me to say this, but I don't think you're going to change. I do, but you don't. I think it's best we go our separate ways. So I thought he was saying, I do change, but you don't. And that's not what he's saying. He's saying, I do think you're going to change. Every single time I come back, I think you're going to change. But you never do. So it's best to just go our separate ways. Yeah. And it took me to this year to realize those lyrics and be like, damn, that's some deep shit.
Shit, I ain't even recognize that.
Like, that's some deep shit. You know what I mean?
That
and
is.
I was like, it doesn't matter how much I may want this to work. If you don't want it to, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
If you can't meet me halfway, it's not going to happen. And again, it's just you want a certain type of man, and I'm not him.
So do that bleeds into your dating life now?
Explain. Elaborate a little bit so I can actually understand what you're saying.
The reason why I'm saying that is because she never changed, and you're saying someone has to meet you halfway. So now when you're dating, if someone even exudes a little bit of the characteristics she has, do you cut them off immediately?
I follow patterns and cycles. So I'll never bring anything from a past relationship into a new one. Okay? So even in the last 15 years of dealing with her, like, we were on and off. I can admit that we were on and off.
And why you have a wall up?
A wall up?
Yeah, you said you had a wall up
Yeah.
when dating.
Yeah, I do. Okay, I'll get to that part too. But give me 1 second. But even with that going on, it was more so of a, how do I explain it? I've had other relationships in between. But I've never taken anything she's done and held it against the next woman, because they not her. No woman is going to be like the previous woman I've dated. It's unfair to me to sit there and tell you that you got to pay for somebody else's mistakes.
That's true.
That's not fair at all. So that's why I take dating so seriously, because I try to, before I would jump from relationship to relationship. But in the past 5 years, I try to heal before I move on to another relationship. Because little did I know, even though I didn't hold that against people, in my mind it was there.
Yeah.
Low key. In my mind it was there.
Yep.
And I was just waiting for the moment for them to do some shit that reminded me of her. So luckily, like, it never really happened that way. It never played out that way. So that's cool. But that definitely was how it worked out. The reason I have a wall up, though, is because my entire life, in 30 years, you know, like, I've been the good guy. Nice guys finish last. I've been the good guy. My heart has been trampled over so many times I can't count. I've been hurt and crushed so many times I can't count. But I still love like there's no other, right? So the reason I have a wall up is because I feel like if you really want me, if you really can put that work in, you'll take down that wall with no problem. Reassurance, effort, all is it's that easy. Honesty, that's all it is. And you can get that wall down with no problem. And again, if you following the game plan right, 3 to 5 business days, I might not say it, but I done fell in love already. You know? And that's the reason I have my wall up, is because I don't want to fall in love with potential, right? Because I can say potential all day. I spent 15 years on potential. I don't want to do that again. I want to spend time on something that's going to progress, something that's going to work, something that's going to benefit both me and the woman. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to sit out here and play games. I don't care to sit here and act like I'm talking to 20 different girls, because I don't. I don't care to sit here and act like I got all of this going on, because I don't. All I do is I go to work, I come home, and I be a dad. That is what my day-to-day life consists of, and this radio show. You know, so I never want anybody to think I'm doing anything more than just being a dad. So that's where that comes from.
This reminds me of that Facebook meme that's floating around where the guy is smashing all these different girls, and there's a girl with roses, and then they have the same one for the guy.
Yes.
I'm the girl with roses, and I feel like you're the guy.
I swear to God, I'm the guy. Like, listen, let me put it like this. We gotta go in a minute, but just one last thing is, like, sex can cloud a lot of judgment, right? And I mean, for lack of a better word, God bless me with a third leg. Okay, so I know that's gonna cause some issues later on down the road. So instead of me trying to jump into bed with every woman I see, I hold back, because I know if I jump into bed, this relationship gonna start off rocky already. It's just gonna be based off the sex.
Smash me, you my boyfriend.
You know what listen, and it's like, people don't understand is, I say it all the time, women love the idea of me, but they don't really love me. They just love the idea of a good man. That's all it is. You know, so to stay on that one. But anything else before we wrap up for today? I didn't even notice with the time that went by. I looked over at the clock like, goddamn.
I told you I could talk a lot.
Yeah, we both can. It's okay. Hey, we can continue this at home on Facebook Live if we got to. You know what I mean?
But, yeah. Everybody, you can add me, Wizard Keisha, with 2 A's at the end on Instagram.
You just giving out your IG? Nothing else you want to tell the people?
Not really. There's nothing much I want to tell besides don't be like me and let your trauma bleed into your dating life.
You know, it sounds like we need a continuation of the episode today. So we'll talk on the back end about getting that done, taking care of that, because I didn't even realize we were already done with the show today, because I was like, we had so much more to talk. I got stuff written down we ain't even talk about yet. So we'll definitely do a continuation of this. Definitely make sure y'all follow her, Wizard Keisha, 2 A's, like she said. Don't forget. Y'all already know me, right? All of my stuff. I'm Juss Quanni. Everywhere you freaking look is Juss Quanni. Juss Quanni 23 on TikTok. Dang, I got to make sure I say this right, because I'll be giving the wrong Twitter sometimes. Quanni 702 is the one y'all want to go follow. That's the one there. What am I forgetting? YouTube and everything is the same.
Twitter is a dangerous place.
Well, I mean, I got one for my personal page, and I got one for my OnlyFans. So it's like, the one, you know, I got to do a lot of, so you ever see it, and you see a lot of meat, just, you know, I tried to keep it separate. So, but definitely, I appreciate y'all for listening. And again, this is not going to be the last time you see Renee on the show. I do want to thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate that. We definitely can get another episode in, soon if we can, to finish this conversation, because I feel like we didn't even touch some stuff we wanted to talk about. So we'll definitely finish that off for sure. But in the meantime, y'all know me. I'll catch y'all every Wednesday here on the hottest radio station on the planet, Hot 702.5 FM. Peace, love, and hair grease. I'll catch y'all next week.